Come on. Hi, everybody. I'm back. Sort of, I think. Snortcop is back on the air. My fucking appeal went through. I know, right? Banned for 2 fucking months and appealed. I had Geronimo Funk, and that got banned. And so I put in and the appeal on this one went through. So I came back. I'm on YouTube as well right now. I'm simulcasting. So I'm back. It's pretty awesome. I should do, you know what I should do? Here we go. If you all missed the head of HR that I was using for my other account. That shit was funny. Anyway, I get to go live again. That's fun. I miss going live. Talking to people. That's pretty awesome. Without my head. I kind of liked this thing though. This was hilarious to make videos with this guy. Because then it was like forcing people to good to see everybody. This is awesome. So it was forcing people on the Geronimo Funk account. Yeah, I got banned for like a couple of months. And then I made Snortcoff again. And that got banned in like a week. And then I had Geronimo Funk, but it only ever had like 600 followers. And then the appeal went through on this one. And all of a sudden somebody popped up and said, hey, dude, your old account. All of a sudden I'm seeing the videos. And I'm like, what? And I logged in and there it was. And what's hilarious, I got banned from posting right now. I'm banned from posting until the 3rd. For whatever, I hadn't posted anything. It came through at like 7 o'clock this morning. I was unbanned. And at about 3 o'clock, I got a notification that said, you're banned from posting until the 3rd for having too many community violations. And I'm like, but I haven't posted anything. And I think it's because when they reinstate your account, it opens like it's a new account. And so I think there's a bot or something that must just kind of look through how many violations you have and then automatically go. So I put in a thing. Yeah, people were reporting it was, I think it was Kelly Crew. I missed you, Dad. Did you miss the head? And like Dresden Doll, I got in an argument with. Because, wow, that Dresden Doll chick was just stupid. But yeah, so I'm back. I'm back. He's bad. Okay, thank you. But it's good to be home. It's good to be back. You know that chick? I went all viral, the I don't think you want to hear the truth chick. I was going to do her first because she literally posted. When I posted that, all the fucking women came in and they're like, how do you know she sucks in bed? How do you know? She's posted like 2 weeks ago, she posted a thing about how she doesn't like to get on top because it makes her tired. And she doesn't. I'm like, you really just fed that to me. It's like, guys know you're boring in bed because it's obvious you're boring in fucking bed or they'd stay with you. And that was going to be my first one, just to get off on a viral fucking video on that same chick. But banned from posting until the 3rd. And I probably got to rethink about it, you know, like, because I don't want to get banned again. Although, you know, what are you going to do? Maybe I'll just make a couple of backup accounts and just cross with them. You know, kind of deal. It's on the link tree. Yeah, they did. They put me in the fucking break. It was gone. I'm back. And yeah, there's a Snortcoff Instagram, Snortcoff and YouTube. Snortcoff for both of them, for Instagram and for YouTube. and they're in the link tree on the top of this one. I mean, there's not a lot on either one of them. What I wanted to start doing was figure out how to upload a full video from TikTok to YouTube and then continue the video and comment on it like doing a stitch, but much longer. So I could present like data, because it's hard often to respond in a single minute. Now, sometimes somebody says something that's just fuck stupid, right? It's like, okay, this is fuck stupid. Although Instagram or TikTok certainly likes to ban those with a quickness. I was banned. Hi, Holly. I was banned. My account was banned, and I was making videos with this guy under Geronimo Funk, but nobody found it. And then today they unbanned me. So I'm back. I'm back. Let's have intelligent conversation. Thank you, Brown. Thank you, Holly. You know, there was somebody named Jerry on my last live, and I've actually been worried because she was going through a really, really hard time, and we talked her through a lot of things. And then, like, the next day, I was banned, and I didn't get a chance to reconnect. But I've actually been kind of concerned because she was hurting. But I reached out to her through Messenger, and I don't know if hopefully she'll respond. I wanted to talk. There was a whole bunch of stuff I wanted to go through to on the next live. I have piles of stuff to talk about. One of somebody asked me to talk about something called heuristics. Heuristics in psychology and anthropology, heuristics is your brain taking a shortcut in order to allow to free up cognitive power for more important things, so to speak. Anybody ever, you experience it where you drive home from work and then you realize you don't remember the drive because you were up in your head, you were thinking about things. That's heuristics. It's the brain taking a shortcut. Intuition is a good way to describe heuristics. Your brain making a jump in order to, it's moving from experience and knowledge to a conclusion without necessarily going through the whole thinking process. Sometimes those heuristic jumps are extremely accurate. Sometimes they're very inaccurate. Prejudice, racism, things like this are often based on those heuristics. On the other hand, intuition and instinct in an emergency is also often based on heuristics. And it's a lot about the training and knowledge you have based on your knowledge of the subject at hand. Here's a good example. We're engaging, a bunch of guys shoot at us. We turn to engage. It's what's called a close ambush. So basically you charge at them. They start running away. You think you've got them on the run. So you start advancing and chasing them. And then it clicks into your head. Wait a minute. We're about to get sucked into an ambush, and that was the bait. And you stop and you form up a D line and you figure out where their ambush is, and then you move to their flanks and attack them instead. That intuitive leap that says this is going too well, they're running away too easily. That is heuristics. That is intuition. That is knowledge and experience making the leap from what is present. Most of us operate off heuristics. We're not really paying attention. We're making these intuitive, emotive leaps between subjects. We're basically going off of our feelings. For men, one of the bigger and most important issues is that men like to think of themselves as intrinsically logical or rational. And the reality is that men are just as emotional as women. We are just differently emotional. And we need to embrace that reality and realize that we are beings of emotion, that many of our decisions are emotion-based, intuition-based decisions. They're not as logical and rational as we would like to pretend to ourselves that they are. What often happens when you watch men making decisions that they will later describe as logical is that they will make what is actually an emotive or intuitive decision, and then they will back it up with a string of logic. But the string of logic wasn't actually there when they were making the decision. Now, heuristically, men do tend to make more decisions based more on a train of available information rather than a completely emotive decision. But it's not less of an emotional decision despite that information. It's still intuitive emotional. We just like to think to ourselves that it is not. The embracing of that reality can help people a lot. The reason I brought that up, there was a TikTok that someone sent to me that they wanted me to stitch. That was a woman that was saying a red flag. I was banned. I am back. I was banned for months, and they unbanned me this morning. I'm still banned from posting until the 3rd, apparently. Somebody sent me a TikTok of a woman saying these are red flags that smart women often miss. And the red flag that she was describing in this particular TikTok is a woman tells a man something that should elicit an emotional, empathetic response. My grandfather died. The dog ran away. I lost my job. And a man will seem to pause and won't give you an immediate emotional reaction. And that was her describing the red flag. And of course, the problem with that is that men have been told for years, for decades, that they respond wrong, that we explain when we should just listen, that we emote when they want us to be rational. I was banned. I was banned for 2 months, and now I'm back. And so men have trained many times themselves to pause. This comes from the early training that men receive when they are young children, when they begin to express aggression and anger. I was banned because basically lots of women didn't like my content. Kelly Crew, Dresden Doll, I think both participated in this, and they basically reported every single video that I had. And there is no consistency in TikTok moderation. You can post a video that is literally about don't bully people, and it will get pulled for harassment. You will appeal it, and they will uphold that it was harassment. You can post the exact same video again. Someone will pull it for harassment. You will appeal it, and they'll let it go. And the only thing that I can think of, the reason for this inconsistency is things like shift change in the moderators. Like, I did make a new account. It was, I made Snort Cough again, and that got banned. And then I made Geronimo Funk, and that got banned. But nobody was finding me. I actually made a couple of accounts. I was using this to post videos at my office door and Post-it notes on cans. But it wasn't really going anywhere, and it wasn't really growing. And Geronimo Funk got banned a couple of days ago. So this was, I know, I do. It's hilarious. And yeah, that Kelly Crew chick actually made a video. Like somebody else. So on one of my accounts, hi Phoebe. Yes, I'm back. I got unbanned. Somebody started following one of my new account. He got in an argument with someone else I know that's and the biggest problem is the total lack of consistency on the part of the moderators. I know Snorkopke. I don't know. We got unbanned this morning. The guy that was following Snorkov, I actually made several videos that really conclusively showed the lack of consistency on the part of the moderators. I posted the same video. So I posted a video that was this woman saying that men should get cognitive therapy for a year and a credit check and a bunch of other things before they're allowed to get married. And of course, I tore it apart. That she immediately reported it for hate speech. So I put it up 12 times. The exact same video, 12 times. Five of them were upheld, right? So I appealed it and it got upheld. 7 times it got released back. And it was like, wait a minute, this is the same video. How can the moderators ban it and let it through? What's happening here? Like, it either violates guidelines or it doesn't. That's not really up for debate. The guidelines are fairly clear. They're listed out. And the only thing that I can think of is that it's entirely based on moderators. As you know, the world turns, there's different shifts of moderators coming on. And as the American moderators come off shift and go to sleep, and it passes on to mid-Atlantic or European or Russian moderators or some such, they are letting it through, probably based on actually viewing the content and determining whether or not it violates guidelines, versus some, you know, Western third wave feminists being upset at the content and not caring whether or not it violates the guidelines, just putting forth her agenda. And when she comes off shift and somebody else comes on that's more objective, your stuff gets through. I don't have another explanation for that. There was a couple of times where I have made videos that were literally about don't bully. There are a lot of men who have a problem with when they are upset about something a woman says, they will start to attack how she looks. And I think that's a really stupid and shitty, ridiculous thing to do. And I would make a video and I would say, first off, this woman's attractive. Secondly, what she looks like is completely immaterial to the discussion and the conversation that you're having. You should never, ever bring up a woman's looks when you're arguing with her, unless it is directly salient to the argument. If she's a 600-pound woman and you guys are talking about her fitness journey, or something, right? Like, okay, because it is salient, you know, if she's saying, I can't find a date, and you're like, well, you're 600 pounds and you can't leave your room, that has a lot to do with it. And she's saying, well, people should just look past that. And you're like, no, that's 500, you know, that's 470 pounds past where they should stop looking. You're going to have to fix that. That is the only time when someone should be able to bring up someone's physical appearance, because it is directly salient to the conversation. Other than that very, very limited instance, we should never be bringing up each other's looks, which is why I started making videos with this. Because when I was making videos with this, people were unable to say, well, you're a fat white guy. Okay. Me being a fat white guy has nothing whatsoever to do with the conversation at hand. Whether I'm fat or not, whether I'm white or not, that has nothing to do with the conversation that we're having. So I started using this thing, and it was forcing people to engage more with the content. And TikTok would pull it down for bullying, and then keep it pulled down. They wouldn't, the appeal wouldn't go through. It's like, that doesn't make sense. I keep using the head. I might. I was thinking, This is actually kind of fun. I feel like on Snortcoff, it's kind of too late, but maybe I will. I'll put I was thinking I'd get a little Sharpie, draw a goatee, and this would just be my stunt double, so to speak. It's like, I gotta put this. Hold on, I gotta move this so it's the YouTube is recording as well. There we go. So this is now Snortcoff TikTok. Heat Putts New. Only once on Geronimo did looks get brought into it. Some 19-year-old idiot made a video, something about her dating life and how people would date her for a couple of months and then leave. And it was like, well, then there's something wrong with your personality. And they started screaming about, well, you're fat and old, and show me what you look like. And I'm like, I didn't mention your looks. I told you you were pretty. So what I look like isn't relevant to the conversation in any way, no matter how badly you want it to be. There. Here's the head. So I'll probably, I'll use the head if everybody likes that. Yes. The heat. I'll probably do that. That's pretty funny. So my only concern now is, since I got banned from posting apparently automatically, that I might get banned some more, like just on an automatic way. I might wake up tomorrow morning and find that I am banned again. So let's think of a good screen name for a backup account. And I can open up a backup account, although apparently only 6 of you would know what that name was. Dish Soap Monkey. I'm going to make a backup account called Dish Soap Monkey. I'll try to make that tomorrow. Hopefully I'm not banned. But if I am banned and you find that Snortcoff is dead, Dish Soap Monkey will be the new one. So what has everybody else been doing? I've been working on the model railroad stuff. Yes, Snortcoff is back. Dish Soap Monkey. I've been talking to a young lady in Minnesota. It's going well, Kevin. Kevin, Snortcoff has been reborn. Apparently it got unbanned this morning. I don't know for how long. I don't know if it won't. I can't post again until the 3rd. But I'm going to do Dish Soap Monkey as a backup account probably later tonight. I'll probably go on live again later tonight when I start cooking. Everybody seemed to like the cooking shows. So probably tonight about 8 p.m. Pacific, when I come home and make dinner, I will probably come on live again and do another cooking show. I don't know how many people are going to notice that I'm here yet. I had an idea, like, to revamp Snortcoff and like have the head replaced as me, but I think I'll do it the other way. It'd be like Snortcoff is being replaced by the head. There is another creator, I think Big Boy 2020, who asked me for a bunch of research material. He is doing, I guess, a presentation on sexual abuse by juvenile males in the prison system. Yes, I am live on TikTok right now, Kevin, on Snortcoff, actual Snortcoff. I don't know if I will. I don't know if I will make a video about all the hateful women. I don't know if that would be of any use. It's several months old now. I think I want to just get back to making content that people kind of like. I want to figure out how to do so without triggering guidelines violations. Although, like I said, the moderating is so cattywampus and inconsistent. I'm not sure that it matters whether or not you actually violate a community guideline. It doesn't for as far as reporting. As soon as you make anything and somebody reports it, they will automatically pull it. But it seems odd that the appealing is so, the appeals process is so subjective and without merit. It's so inconsistent. I'm putting together my dryer lint cleaning device. I gotta go clean out my dryer chimney thing. And you know, calling out these chicks, what's the actual utility? It's like I could call them out, but nobody's going to do anything about it. That Kelly Crew chick actually doxed me, and I reported it to TikTok. I took screenshots and everything. I reported it on the "You Have a Problem" process. Nobody got back for days. Finally, somebody did get back and said they would respond in 48 hours, and 3 days later, Geronimo Funk got banned. So they apparently responded to Kelly Crew violating the guidelines against doxing by banning my account. That's TikTok's engagement. Which there's nothing you can do about it. It's their platform, and if that's how they want to run it, it's their right to. It's unfortunate. And monetarily, how do you develop good routines and rituals? That's a good question, Kevin. The first thing to do, the absolute first thing, there's two. That's not true. Okay, so there's two first things to do. The first thing to do is recognize the routines and rituals that you have that are not serving you, that you need to replace, because often people have very bad habits and routines that are not serving them, and it would be a good time to revamp those and look at those. For example, I want to go to the gym. Look at what you're doing at the time you think you want to go to the gym. Maybe you want to go to the gym early morning and you're just dead ass asleep. Maybe you want to go to the gym. I like to go to the gym when I come home. I feel like I'm sort of pre-warmed up. I don't really like doing it super early in the morning. And there just doesn't seem to be much of a purpose in it, but I might. But some people really want to get it out of their way first thing in the morning, and that is a good habit for other reasons. So look at the habits and rituals and routines that you have that you want to replace. Become aware of them. You may find while studying that about yourself, you will discover that you've got mental circles going on inside your head. A lot of the biggest problems that we face in our individual lives have to do with thought patterns, repetitious thought patterns. They call them invasive thought patterns, but I don't like that name, because the reality is the invasive thought is often the thought you thinking about what you want to do in an active, deliberate manner. In other words, you probably have automatic routines going on in your head that are very poor at motivating you, very poor at getting you to the places you want to go in life. Negative thoughts about yourself, negative thoughts about your life. Can I post it? I can't until the 3rd. So I got reinstated this morning. At about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I got a message that said I had banned from posting until the 3rd because of content violations. I believe that to have been an automatic response, because when my account got reinstated, it was acting like a completely brand new account, except all my videos and messages were there. You know, it was like, try a stitch, try this, swipe right to get there. So I think there is some kind of automation that counts up how many violations you have, and automatically. So yeah, so I think that I'm hoping that the actual permanent ban is not automatic and that a person has to do that. But I don't know. Anyway, as of the 3rd, in theory, even if nothing else changes, I will be able to post again. And I've already got a whole bunch of videos in drafts. So it'll be a posting bonanza. In the meantime, Kevin asked a really good question about starting up rituals and routines that serve you. And I was saying the first thing to do is discover the ones that do not serve you. Discover ones that you want to replace, because you don't want to put good habits in competition with bad ones. You want to deliberately replace your bad habits with good ones. Then sit down and have a good, chat with yourself about what your priorities are in life. Where do you want to go? What do you want these habits to achieve? You want to get in shape. You want to make money. You want to write a book. You want to, I don't know. There's a lot of people on here who seem to want to stop jerking off. You want to learn to play guitar. I don't know. What is it that break those priorities into achievable steps? In other words, I want to play guitar is not an achievable step in a day, or damn sure it wouldn't be for me, but it probably would be in, say, 18 months. But that 18 months is just your long-term goal. That's not going to help you next week. Let's say you wanted to run the California International Marathon that is in December. Right now it is April. It's closing in the end of April, so let's call it May. That means you've got 7 months to get up to the marathon, which really means you want to be able to run a marathon by the end of November, which means you want to be able to run a half marathon probably by mid-October. Once you get to a half marathon, really doubling that's not as hard. So you want to be able to run, say, 10 miles by the beginning of September. So let's say 5 miles by the beginning of August. That'll be 2.5 by the beginning of July. You see what I'm doing? I'm just going to backdate these distances until what I figure out is what I need to be able to do is run for 3 minutes solid by Friday. So I'm taking this priority goal that I want to achieve and backing it up all the way to Friday to get what I want to do. Now, how do I establish a habit to do that? First thing I would do is there's almost nothing that you want to do that hasn't been done, right? Like, I don't want to be an astronaut. Okay, there's actually several hundred people that have been astronauts. So the pathway to becoming that astronaut is known and laid out. So the pathway to, say, run a marathon in 6 months is already done and laid out. There's programs to do that. I wouldn't go reinventing the wheel if you don't have to. Look for those things ahead of time, right? Don't try to create your own program if you don't have to. If someone that knows more about achieving this goal has already done it for you. But let's say it's something that nobody's ever done. I don't know. I want to find gold at the bottom of the ocean. Something weird that somebody's ever done before. What you're going to have to do when you do that is start looking at, okay, I understand physically what I need to do. At the end of this week, I need to run 3 minutes. What is a habit that's going to get me there? Okay, number one, when in my day do I want to run? What's a habit I want to break? Okay, habit that I want to break is I come home at the end of the day when I'm done with work and I'm stressed out because of work, and I spend like an hour playing video games because I'm trying to transition to my work time, my work headspace. I'm going to replace that habit that doesn't really do much for me and use that hour to work out. That's going to be, instead of using video games for my transition, I'm going to use running for my transition. I'm going to get the chemistry going in my head. I'm going to get out on the road. And you're like, well, okay, but by the end of the week, I'm only supposed to be able to run like 3 minutes. Why do I have to spend a whole hour? That's okay. So by the end of the week, you want to be able to run 3 minutes, but you could run 3 minutes right now and then walk for 10 and then run 3 and then walk for 10 and then, do that, say 5 times. What you're doing is establishing the use of that hour as your habit. You're going to replace something that doesn't serve you with something that does. There are now 2 more obstacles that stand in your way. The first one is called the sunk cost fallacy, and this is a big one. This is what actually gets in most people's way when they're trying to make a change. Human beings are loath to change even when they realize that the change would be beneficial, right? Most of us know that if we worked out more, we would feel better. And most of us want to work out more. And most of us understand there is no downside to working out. But then why don't we do it? Now, some of it is because we have a habit that for doing something else and you want to replace that bad habit with a good one. But the other thing is manifesting the change itself. A lot of times you have sunk time and energy. For example, a moment ago we were using, I come home and play a video game for an hour as my transition time. Let's say you're halfway through that game. Video games are designed to trigger the reward mechanisms inside your brain. It's a slight addiction. I'm not going to go into something, oh, it's like heroin, it's terrible. It's not, but it can be slightly addictive. And you have sunk time and energy into the defeat of this, video game, and you're halfway through it. You have sunk that cost into that game. And to transition away from that cost in your mind, even on an emotional level, on a limbic, down here in the limbic brain level, there is an emotional cost to abandoning that course of action and taking on a new course of action. And that is one of the things that holds you back. And one of the biggest ways to get around that is to invest heavily into the new course of action that you want to take. So take your happy ass down to Fleet Feet and buy $300 fucking shoes. Buy 6 pairs of running shorts. Buy all the stuff, get into it. Get someone that's going to call you and ask, and someone that you're not going to bullshit, right? Someone that's actually going to hold you accountable in some way. Invest in the new course of action so big and so heavy that to not take that course of action would incur a massive cost to yourself. That's part of the way of getting around the sunk cost fallacy. The last thing is the self-sabotaging thing that many people do to themselves, and that is negotiating with yourself. And we've talked about that before. You say to yourself, I'm going to run, I'm going to spend my first hour when I get home 5 o'clock pretty much every day. Sometimes it's 4:45, sometimes it's 5:15, but it's right around 5 o'clock. So whatever time I get home, I'm going to spend that next hour training. I'm going to spend the first 10 minutes of it doing mobility exercises and dynamic stretching. And then I'm going to do my 3 minutes of running. And then I'm going to do the rest doing walk, run in this pattern. And then I'm going to come home, and that's my thing. And you set it all up and you buy the shoes and you get all into it. And the first week goes great. And the second week, well, on Tuesday, it's pouring fucking rain. And you start negotiating with yourself. Well, it's raining. And I don't really want to go outside when it's raining and it's miserable. And I could go play that video game. It's raining. I could take a rain day. Bullshit. You're fucking negotiating. You committed to running today. That's water from the fucking sky. It's not going to hurt you. 100% accountability and ownership of everything in your life. Absolute extreme ownership of everything in your life. That whether it rains or not is not up to you, but whether you run in the rain is completely fucking up to you. Okay, how do you do when you understand the theory, but your negotiation always wins? Ha! That, my friend, is where you want to put the cost in. That goes back to that sunk cost part. So if I don't go, there's going to be a cost. Secondly, that's where you embrace. So at the beginning of all this, embrace the discipline. If you think to yourself at the beginning of this, I know the day's going to come, and it's going to come very soon, when I'm going to want to negotiate this. It's going to be raining and I'm going to want to play a game. I know it. What is my plan? Make a plan for when that starts to happen. For example, when I don't want to go to the gym, like I feel like shit, I don't want to go, I'm tired, Everything hurts. I know I'm not going to get a good lift in. My deal with myself is I will go for 15 minutes. At the end of 15 minutes, of hard work, if I want to leave still, I'm allowed to leave. But I'm going to go put in that 15. Not once, not ever have I actually gone home at the end of the 15 minutes. Because once you start, once you take the fucking step, once you're engaged, the feeling of success will take over. Once you keep the promise to yourself, and that's what it's all about, gentlemen. Your integrity includes promises to yourself. You owe yourself. You got to answer to you. So in those moments when you are negotiating with yourself and your negotiations are starting to win, you have a plan. And your plan is, if we're going to do the running thing, my plan is I will go out there for 15 minutes. If at the end of 15 minutes, I absolutely can't stand the rain, there's got to be some reason for your negotiation. At the end of 15 minutes, if I cannot stand the thing that I cannot control, okay, I give myself a break. I'm going to go and I'm going to spend my 45 minutes playing my fucking video game. But I promise you, the vast majority of the time, if you follow through on your plan and you start and you build up the inertia of starting to do the thing that you promised yourself that you were going to do, that you want to do, that you set your sight on, that you built your goals for, you're going to get it done. I am. Hi, Jenny. They reinstated me this morning. I still can't post, but I can go live. Yeah, systems over goals. Your goal is just where you want to get. Your ritual and your habit are going to push you well past your goal if you set it up right. You got to set up your goal so that it's far enough out that you can achieve it, but then you got to back yourself up to smaller goals until you know exactly what you're going to be doing, at the end of the week. Like what's my goal for Friday? Not what's my goal for, I know what my goal for 18 months is, but what's my goal for Friday? 30 years old STL girl. I don't know what that meant. Thank you. What's 30-year-old STL girl? But yeah, so that's Matt's guide to achieving goals and setting up good habits. That's how I do it anyway. Like I said, when you've got the negotiation, you're going to end up negotiating yourself. So build a plan for it. Didn't she get you banned? I think Kelly Crew and company got me banned originally. I don't know. All of a sudden, every single video I had was getting reported. Like every single video, they just went through and reported every single video that I had. So eventually, TikTok just banned me. I'm not. They don't tell you who's reporting your video, so I don't actually know. It's not like this person reported your video. It just says this video was reported for hate speech. And you're like, but it's a video on wavelengths of light. How is that hate speech? And then that's the biggest problem, is not the videos getting reported. It's that there is no consistency among the moderators for following the guidelines. Because I can make a video on literally why the sky is blue, right? The sky is blue because the blue wavelength of light is the longest wavelength of light, and the water in the atmosphere refracts all the other colors, blah, blah, blah. I can literally make a video about that. Someone will report it for hate speech, and I have no idea whether the fucking moderators will say, no, that's not hate speech, it's about wavelengths of light, or if they'll be, yep, that's hate speech. You're like, but it's about wavelengths of light. It's physics. No, she's not. She was talking about it's Kelso Crew. Sorry, it's KELSOKRU. She's just some idiot woman that I got in an argument with, but she went like ballistic. Like she investigated and found out like where I worked and started calling that kind of thing. I found you with the video. Yeah, the one I did a long time ago about the using the peacock as an example, which is funny. You got so many people arguing that. It's like, but that's the example for sexual investment that's used in every Evo bio class in the whole fucking world. Like, you can argue with it if you want, but you're going to be arguing with evolutionary biology, so I don't think you're going to get very far, but go ahead. Yes, I'm back for the moment anyway. I might be banned by tomorrow morning. I don't know. They already sent me a notification that I'm not allowed to post because of like I haven't posted yet since I got back. And at 3 o'clock this afternoon, I got a thing that said, you're not allowed, you've been banned from posting until May 3rd for content violations. And I'm like, but I haven't posted and nobody's reported anything. It was like, what the fuck? Kelso Crew is not third. She's from LA. Kelso Crew is. I don't know. I know, right? It's, and you'd think being in California, I'd have some, but yeah, I know. Kevin Samuels, the thing about Kevin Samuels is he has a podcast and he has his own platform, so he can't be banned. I was considering making a podcast. I do, well, like right now I'm simultaneously broadcasting on YouTube. My Instagram and my YouTube are both Snort Cough. And what I want to do to figure out how to do, and I've been kind of lazy and busy, mostly lazy, is figure out how to try to save the Peacock one. I changed a setting in my thing today to make everything downloadable. So it might be able to, you might be able to save that. I wanted to actually do more on that. Maybe the next time I go live, I'll do more on that. Somebody else, when I was doing the Geronimo Funk account, I saw another person that was talking about like badly about the psychology of it. They were in complete denial. Their statement was that the body count thing had been completely invented by the patriarchy and all this other stuff. And it was like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If everybody joins the YouTube and the Instagram, you'll be able to find me. I'm going to do Dish Soap Monkey as a backup account sometime tonight and start trying to share it across. But what I want to do is learn, and somebody, if anybody knows how to do this, I really got to go, guys. I got to teach. I have 3 minutes until my Zoom classes start. I volunteer to help kids learn how to read on Zoom classes. I'm actually supposed to be logged in already. So I got to go. But it is great to be back and save your lives. All my lives on YouTube get saved. And then they're just on the thing. Okay, so I got to run. Yeah, shit, I'm supposed to be there right now. So it is great to be back. And I plan to do a lot more lives, especially since I can't post yet. And see you guys. Love you. This is fun.